How's it going, Internet? Welcome back to the gaming channel of Type QQ. We're just talking backwards, I suppose. We're going to play Bullet Soul Infinite Burst in Caravan mode. Mainly because you told me, or rather, you didn't tell me it was a bad idea, which was kind of the point of the last video. So shame on you if you're watching this and then crying your hands. We are getting better at Caravan mode. However, this video certainly is not going to show it. In past videos, I think I've spoke of Anklegate and what pertains to Anklegate and my mysterious injury of unexplained origin. And I had mentioned possibly there's not too many victims of it. This one I think is certainly a victim of it. At first I was doing pretty well, but to be completely honest, I got pretty loopy on medication partway through, and then we didn't do so well. I mean, it was still fun to play, but certainly when it came to focus and strategy, it didn't really gel, to be completely honest. Especially where my reaction speed was a little off. And I had moments of confusion of what I should do, what buttons should I press. Not exactly thoughts that should be running through your mind when you're playing this game. But at the time, it sounded like a good idea. If that's one message, I can't express enough, is that I mean good. I didn't start the video high as a kite and thought, hey, let's just make another one of those stupid drunk videos again that sound funny at the time, but then get kind of embarrassing along the way. But it didn't necessarily turn into it, but the gameplay did suffer along the way. But funny thing is, here we are, we just beat our high score the very first time. Or not the very first time, but the very first run of this particular play session today. We beat our high score on our Caravan, so that's pretty great. However, once the medication kicks in, it's not going to turn out very good for those climbing up that Caravan ladder, as it were. To touch upon just my ankle injury at this time. It's updates on it on my health status seems to be about as nagging as the injury itself. It seems to be getting better, but we are going on like 8 days now. It seems to be getting better. However, it almost seems to be like getting laterally better, as in like I'm just trading symptoms now. Now I can walk around and now it doesn't hurt so much, but now it's swelling weirdly, and now it's changing color. It's just odd things are happening. So I do have another follow-up appointment I'm going to take advantage of pretty soon, if not tomorrow. So hopefully we can find the final chapter of this and be done with it forever. So I can put to rest and just stop talking about it, If you feel that you are done with Anklegate 2017, ruining these videos, you are only marginally fed up with it as much as I am. Keep that in mind. Because there's, I think, a lot of good meat and potatoes in this videos that I'm just kind of not speaking of right now. Partially, I think, boy, that's not very good. Partially, I feel it's the golden helmet puzzle that we've been talking about in past videos, where it's that enemy that we just died on maybe a couple lives ago, where it starts off two halves on top and bottom of the screen, and then slowly kind of collide together into one being, but it also has those enemies, those winged enemies on the side that shoot bullets at you. And it's the strategy to take down the gold enemy before he forms, so you can get the bonus points, is to be kind of in the middle of him and fire upon the top half. However, then it puts you in this sort of swirling nightmare of bullets on enemies that you can't really hit. You know, you do have to focus fire on the gold enemy, you know, diverting your primary fire away from them. So now you have this sort of, so that, you know, more often than not, now you've killed your primary target, and now you're completely enveloped with bullets. So that's been the puzzle the whole time. However, you know, I had given it some thought outside of playing, and I go, I don't understand, you know, maybe I'll have to look over my videos and figure out exactly what the hell I'm doing wrong. You know, I don't really want to, like, look at other people's videos. I don't really want to find an FAQ quite yet. I don't really want to find a forum quite yet. You know, I think there's something to be had about people just kind of discovering it and learning for themselves, or kind of just going down with the ship, you know. I don't know if I'm kind of stubborn that way, but I kind of was like, I just kind of want to figure it out myself. You know, I'll cheat if, you know, if it comes down to it, but see, that's kind of what I mean right there. We even failed to kill it that time, but that's, you know, public enemy number one. And what I mean is that I don't think our score is going to get too great unless we are able to conquer that challenge. With this one being the second. However, I think this one's going to be is a rather easier one. And like I was saying, you know, I had given it some thought outside of playing the game, and I was like, what? So, you know, do I should really look over my videos and just examine what is going on. Am I just dodging right, or going at it the wrong way? I need to take a look at these bullet patterns, because a lot of times when you're focused on killing that gold enemy, you know, you don't really notice the guys on your flanks shooting bullets at you, and you know, by the time that enemy is dead, it's you know, far too late to conceive of a dodge. And there we go. We gotta score outside of our ranking. So some really ugly runs right here, as we're flying high, as it were. So yeah, I did not actually research. But what I did is actually, I think if time permitting, and if, you know, the moon phase kind of allows, that sort of thing, I'll have 2 Caravan videos up for you tonight. And in that part 2, it will certainly illustrate my findings a little better. You know, I find that, you know, I kill the enemy and then go up. And really, you find a lot more success if you kill the enemy and then go down. I'm not sure why. It's I think primarily because, you know, as you go down, you can shoot more enemies and those bullets cancel. That's what I'm guessing. And as the enemy, I wonder if we can even pull it off now. We don't even, so I think as we go up, those enemies survive. The bullets stick around. That's what I suspect. I don't think it's really going to come to any sort of fruition in this video. But, you know, at least I can say, you know, if this was going to be another, you know, type QQ plays, Bullet Souls drunk, I certainly felt good in playing this game this time. You know, I was certainly high-spirited. You know, if nothing else, I beat my high score in the first run. So, you know, I was not having a bad day. I was not I was not, you know, not enjoying myself and cranky about a 1cc somewhere. You know, I was, I had, you know, as ever, you know, had a ton of fun playing this video, even if it didn't necessarily show up in the rankings, that sort of thing. But there's one thing to, you know, keep in mind with some of these trash runs. Um, you never know which one is going to be your magical sort of oddity run, or or score rather, that's going to have that sort of string of numbers you need to win a prize. If you've been following the previous Caravan video, uh, Mages is holding a Caravan contest until I think a couple more days, until the 6th, I believe, or rather like later that night on the 6th. And you either place the first place in that character, so you know whether it's Yoon, Sadal, or Zenichi, I believe, or Luke. I apologize if I pronounced any of those names wrong. I'm sure I have. You get a prize. I think it's like a signed poster, or a soundtrack, or both, or none, or whatever. But you also, I don't know if it's one player or what, but if you have a score that has a string of the same numbers in it, you know, for example, like 3 3 3 3 3 3 3, the player with the highest digits of that sort of pattern gets a prize as well. So even if we have a absolute trash run, you know, if only we could score 0 0 0 0 0, you know, we would be in this. We'd be like, shit, yeah. But yeah, it's at least playing garbage could score you that like miraculous run. Yeah, we're playing so bad, like it's even difficult to take enemies like that off. I mean, this video would be absolutely throwaway if it wasn't for the very first run where, you know, before everything kind of kicked in and I was like, okay, where are my hands at? You know, all of a sudden I'm pressing space button to do this, and I'm cranking on the, you know, home page or the paged up and down button. Really filling out that bottom of the rankings now. But I guess the final word I'll say on Anklegate is that it's like some people, like, I don't want to just call this a attribute men have, but I think stereotypically men have this. But I'm sure there's a lot of ladies that have the same thing. That I just don't like to be injured, and if I am injured or sick, I just like how can I get over it the quickest and just move on. You know, like I go to the hospital, but like you know what, they're not going to really help me. You know, I'll go to the dentist, but they're not really going to help me. I'll just figure out a way to do it here, and I'll be fine. You know, it's kind of like, well, you know, your fucking bones protruding out of your skin. Well, just pop it back in, and we'll throw some hydrogen peroxide on it and wrap it up real good. You know, I mean, case in point, you know, I lost all patience with a particular toothache that I had. So I fucking tore it out with pliers. You know, that, you know, that sort of shit. You know, I was like, hey, I saw this in a movie once. I bet I can yank my tooth out with some pliers. And I'd have to say, you know, I was pretty damn proud. You know, there's not too many times, you know, I can, you know, boast my chest out and go, yeah, I'm a man. You know, I can't nail fucking anything together or saw anything together. You know, I couldn't build anything out of wood, you know, to save my life, but, you know, I acted like a grizzled lumberjack for just, you know, a second, yanking out a fucking bad tooth out of my mouth, you know, with some fucking pliers. So that's me, like, looking at my ankle going, fucking, you know, get better already, you know. You know, and I just want to, like, walk it off, you know, walk a mile and then be like, all right, did I get enough blood and circulation to it? Let's get over it already. So, you know, I'm kind of hesitant to going to the fucking hospital all the time, wasting a lot of time just like sitting there waiting for them to look at it and do nothing, that sort of thing. And them to go, so, what'd you do? Did you trip over anything? And I'd be like, Jesus fucking Christ. Just fix it, or cut it off. I don't give a shit. Like, let me get on with my life already. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. That's Anklegate right there. Or any injury, I'm just so fucking sick of them. Yeah. Some real bad stuff. Achievement day, giving up the game, giving up on life. Well, when you're not playing so well, and you can tell if you have a fine eye how erratic and how poor our focus fire and our spread shot is currently, but we're also sitting in the mind of a madman at this moment, and fingers that are loosely connected to that mad mind. So yeah, look how many bullets are left on this screen. Good God. There's sometimes where we feel like we need to travel from one side of the screen to the next while holding the focus button. Ugly stuff. And still, going up is not a good idea. However, funny enough, taking those guys out without dying. And I think after just playing against those two sort of like starfish enemies, once you play them enough and see their attacks and see how they work, they aren't as challenging as first thought. So I think a no-miss run is certainly in the future. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. No miss, as we I think discussed in one of the past videos, if Cinemora or Bullet Soul, it just means a run that we weren't hit on. Although we tried, we wore that sexy dress and everything, and we were not hit on. Looks like we've got maybe a few more runs, 2 or 3 more runs, and then we decided, you know what, maybe we've made a mistake. But like I was saying before, having bad runs isn't particularly the worst thing ever. You could just drag yourself through this game and score, a 5-digit score, which isn't particularly large at all, but if they could all be like 7s, and who knows, and that could win you a poster, it's hard to say. If nothing's, Jesus Christ, you never can tell what type of luck you have without just kind of putting probability to work, And you know what? Come to think of it, I think I've won quite a lot of contests in my lifetime. I mean, certainly not all of them or many, but more than I'd ever think it would be possible. But you know, you just have to kind of you know, commit yourself to you know, participating in contests, and then like you know, and write them off, and just understand that you know, hey, you know, odds are against me, but who knows? You know, I think there was a beer shop in town that asked like how many different beers they had in their coolers, and I did like quick head math, which was you know scary, you know, like a subject at the very least. I was like, well, they have these many coolers, and I think I have these many rows of you know beer by this many, and I kind of did just kind of rough math, and I was, you know, the closest person within like 30 bottles, so I won a prize there. There was, I think it's like some YouTube shows that I've won some prizes on by just like commenting on their forums and stuff like that. And then just recently I won the Bullet Soul off the live stream. So it's you know, maybe 4 or 5 contests, mostly of random chance, you know, that I can at least remember, which is you know, not always the most reliable source ever, but you know, we'll respect that. But yeah, you know, I'm the sort of sucker that like, but here's the thing, like generally never buy lottery tickets. I just think that's just like, it's just a waste of money. However, when you know, when the talk of the town is like, guys, the lottery like tonight or tomorrow is, you know, $600 billion. Like I have to be like, okay, I have to, you know, I have to go and buy one, because like the chances of winning that is astronomically low. But you know, the loss of it being just like $1 or $2 to try your hand at something like that, it's like it's just, yeah, it outweighs itself, you know. You know, I've taken plenty of naps on couches where I've lost, you know, pockets full of change down the cushions, you know. I'm not going to really cry over a couple dollars lost. So it's kind of like I might as well just kind of try the life-changing, you know, $5 gazillion, just in case I win and I just, alright, I can stop making videos. I guess I'll just buy YouTube, you know, that sort of thing. 24. I wonder if that's first. Excellent. So kind of bookends there. You know, we started off beating our top score, slumped into a drug-induced, you know, tizzy there, I guess. Like, is that what kids say these days? And then rose back up from the ashes and scored another high score. So we're going to check our leaderboard, or the online Caravan leaderboard, to see where we stand during this video. 17th. So it looks like people have been playing, getting busy. We started at 12, and we've dropped down to 17, but we certainly have all kinds of time, at least a couple more days to bounce back, and I think that's what we'll try to do. Alright guys, that's going to be the end of this video. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, do all that stuff, and we'll come back and play some more.